How's it going, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. For today, we're going to be having an up-close and personal look at the Mego style figures toy company Batman and Robin action figures, based on the likeness of Adam West and Burt Ward from the classic 1966 Batman TV show. Mego never had the rights to make the characters in Adam West and Burt Ward's likeness back in the day, so it's very, very cool that finally, after all these years, we're getting them now for us adult collectors to totally nerd out on. Seriously. If you're a 1966 Batman TV show fan and a Mego figure collector, and these don't scratch that itch, I have no idea what will. Anyhow, that's enough of my face. Let's get into the video. Whoa. Well, super friends, that was a strange intro. Anyway, so the packaging for this figure is the resealable plastic bubble with the card kind of wedged in between. It's an interesting design, and I think it has a very classic look to it. The front of each of these cards each have 3 individual little pictures that look like they've been set inside of television sets. 8-inch retro superhero, collect them all, Batman, Series 1. The backs of both of these cards have Series 1, Batman, Robin, the Riddler and Joker, which I'll be reviewing in the next video for these figures, and also images for Series 2, Bruce Wayne, Dick Grayson, the Penguin, and Egghead. But enough about the packaging, let's rip it open, both of them, and have a little lookaroo at what we get on the inside. So now that we've got the dynamic duo out of their packaging, these action figures based on the very clear likeness of Adam West and Burt Ward made by Figures Toy Company look like the action figures based on the 66 Batman TV show that always should have been but sadly never were. Their cloth goods uniforms, fabric capes, and Mego style body proportions immediately give these action figures that retro feel. If you're an old school / new school Mego action figure collector and you don't yet have these are going to fit right in, I promise you. Looking up close at these figures, starting with Batman, you can see that Batman's emblem on his chest, the utility belt around his waist, the cape he has draped over his shoulders, all have that 1966 Batman look to them. I especially like the fact that they've actually used shiny blue fabric for his cape and trunks in the same fashion that they did with the television show. Batman's cape just does up around his neck, but you can take it off and you can see that the neck piece is actually a separate piece as well, that just fits around his neck. Batman's gloves and boots are also authentic and accurate to the TV show as well. Looking up close at Adam West's face sculpt, well, it's not perfect, but what can you expect to find on something that is made to mimic a classic Mego style figure? I think it looks pretty good and pretty accurate for the vintage funny bone it's trying to tickle. Now we'll have a closer look at Robin, who, accurate to the TV show, for starters, is actually wearing a pair of skin-colored tights over his legs rather than just having bare legs. Robin's got his classic red tunic with the green short sleeves underneath. They're actually just sewn to the shirt. His accurate to the TV show gloves, his ho-ho-ho green giant pixie boots. Robin's also got his bright yellow canary cape, which is shiny on the outside like Batman's, but matte on the inside. Much like Batman, Robin's cape can be unclasped from around his neck, where you can actually see that it's got a collar on each side, which is sort of strange they didn't just continue the collar all the way around. However, now that the cape is off, we can take a closer look at that tunic, and you'll see that mine suffers from the defect of there being a loose O-ring that the string from his tunic would go through. Taking a close-up look at Robin's facial sculpt and paint applications, you'll see that it bears enough of a resemblance to Burt Ward's likeness that it's passable. And really, we're not looking for a perfect head sculpt or paint application because, again, these are based off of a more classic style of figure when people didn't get that upset when the paint wasn't perfect. And now it's time for the articulation segment of the video where we talk about exactly how poseable or not poseable these little guys are. Each one of these guys has a turny head on a simple peg, basic articulation at the waist, shoulder articulation to go round and out, single jointed elbow articulation, and simple rotation at the top of the glove. Both of these figures also have spready movement at the groin, single jointed knees, and boots or pixie shoes, depending on who we're looking at, that go round and round in a circle. Because as you can see, they're connected by ball joints. And that's all she wrote. There's no room for action figure articulation snobbery here because there's just the very basic and classic amount attached to these Mego style action figures. And now, in the name of action figure science, we're gonna have to strip Robin naked to see what's going on under his tunic. No, that's not what I mean. Pervs, Now these 66 Batman and Robin figures are put together in much the same way the older 8-inch Mego figures were, with an internal wire system that kind of holds all the limbs to the body. And as you can see with mine, Robin's legs are put on backwards. Really? No worries, we'll just slap a little bit of duct tape on there because I currently don't possess the skill level to know how to take his body apart and put it back together without ruining it, so duct tape will have to do. Oh, and my Robin appears to have a really bad case of varicose veins as well. You can see them up there on his bicep and shoulder. For the size and scale comparison, you can see I've brought in the Mattel and the NECA 1966 Batman figures, and the Mego style one is definitely much larger. Unless you have a collection of Mego and Figures Toy Company figures, you're not really going to have a place where you can slot him in with other action figures. And really, why would you? He just looks so out of the ballpark different. It looks like I need to start collecting all the Figures Toy Company DC characters now too. And for Robin, I brought in the only other Burt Ward Robin figure I own, and that's the Mattel Classic 66 TV show. He's obviously much shorter. We now interrupt this video with a short little interview from my wife. You want to sit on the sofa? Sit down on the sofa. Sit. Put your bottom there.
It smells like you farted.
I didn't fart. Why do you always think I farted? Okay. I'm going to give you two of the figures I'm reviewing today, and I would like you to tell me if you think that these are dolls or action figures and why. What do you think of these?
These are dolls.
Are they dolls?
Yes.
You have to tell the camera, have to tell the subscribers right in there.
These are dolls. They're not action figures. They have cloth clothes. They have all of the same articulation as a doll. They're dolls.
So, does that mean that these are dolls too? These are the Mattel
No.
Batman and Robin from the Classic 66 Batman TV show.
No, I wouldn't categorize this as a doll.
Why aren't these dolls?
Because they don't have cloth clothes.
But they have cloth capes.
These look like the category of action figures. These look like dolls. No, these even just feel like dolls. Like you could easily have this, right, with a little blonde wig and put a dress on it.
I don't think that Robin would probably want to wear a dress.
I don't know. This character looks like he may like to wear a dress in his spare time.
You just made a booger shoot out of my nose.
There are wings on his boots.
Right now there are people going, they're not dolls! They're action figures!
You
They're
asked!
action dolls.
Action dolls.
There are wings on his boots. Next question. Would you buy these for our boys to play with?
No, I could see little boys playing with these.
Popular.
Little boys. I would not give this to, like, a cool 12-year-old kid.
Thirdly, can you try and fit them in this Batmobile?
They're not gonna fit. I can see it right now. Look, the legs. Look at just the legs. Okay, I'm just gonna hold it in front of the car, right?
Don't put Robin in the
Look at
driver's
this.
seat.
There is no way. There's no way.
Just
They're not
try and
gonna
stuff
fit.
it in there.
Such a dork.
Stuff it in there.
They're not gonna fit. They don't fit. This is why Barbie has her own car.
It looks like some sort of like ride that you'd find outside of the Kmart back in
for
the
25
70s.
cents.
Here, hold this.